Good morning. How are we? Happy 2nd of March. So, wanted to talk today about seeded grapes, to be honest. Seeded grapes. So, at the weekend, went shopping and I was like, wow, these grapes are a bargain. And they looked delicious. And they were delicious. Until I'd never known this, by the way. I just looked at the packet and I saw seeded and I thought, that means seedless. Just my brain went, yeah, that's fine. And I haven't actually seen seeded grapes since I was a kid, I'm pretty sure. Like, I can't even remember the last time I saw them. Anyway, GMOs, who knows? Amazing way of farming. But the thing is, what I noticed was, when I went to eat them, the seeded grapes, the result of that is I was eating them a lot slower than I normally would, because it was faffy getting the seeds out. Normally, I could just grab a load, shove them in. I could go through the punnet like that. And by slowing down, by getting the seeds out each time, I significantly noticed how, one, annoyed I was at the start that I'd bought seeded grapes, but two, how it slowed my eating down, and ended up eating less than I normally would at that snack. You can't just open the fridge and kind of grab one. It's in my head, I'm going, oh, I have to bite half, get the seeds out, get all gooey hands, put that in the bin. Oh, you know what? I'll just have some later. I'm not that hungry. It's amazing how that goes on in my head, even though I'm supposed to be really conscious of this stuff anyway. That innate ability, if I am caught rushing around, which happens, I'm like, I absolutely love grapes, but seeded grapes, not sure they're worth it unless I'm sat down. Here's one for you: sat down, present, looking at what I have, considering, am I hungry? Is it psychological hunger? Is it physical hunger? Is it procrastination? And by this, I'll kind of just describe what I mean by physical hunger and psychological hunger. So physical hunger, you might actually feel like a rumble in your tummy. You could feel that almost like you're hungry, but there's not like a scary urge to eat. So as in, it doesn't feel like you have to have it now. You're more like, I'm hungry, but it's increasing gradually. You recognize it, so like that's like the rumbling tummy. It's a choice to be eaten with awareness. So I'm sat down with my grapes and I'm getting the seeds out. There's a sense of satisfaction after eating, and there's no guilt generally. That's kind of more physical hunger. Compare that to psychological hunger. It's a sudden appearance, so you might just walk in the kitchen and be like, oh, I'm so stressed at the moment, oh, I'm hungry. You want a certain type of food, so like if someone went, here's an apple, you'd go, oh, I'm not hungry. Like, I'm not hungry for an apple, I'm hungry for this. And we spoke about this the other day about sweet foods, like how to overcome your cravings. If you didn't see that, if you go onto my podcast and just scroll down, it's about 2 episodes ago. There's one in there where I really delve into that in a bit more detail. You want food now, so like there's that sense of urgency, like I said, in that you may be bored, tired. It's worth considering how you feel at that time. And if you just wrote that down, how do I feel right now? What feeling am I trying to create? It's often impulsive, eating quickly, aka like the grapes. Like, why do I need to eat grapes so fast? Like, I'm literally, when I eat grapes, often I could just shove them in, like straight in, do. Whereas seeded, that slows me down. Then I'm like, actually, yeah, I'm all right. I'm actually satisfied with fewer. You still want more, but maybe, or a different type of food after eating. So if it's psychological hunger, you might eat like something salty, then go, now I want something sweet, now I want something else. It's like we just jump into the one. We're not actually satisfying because we're not creating the feeling that we thought we would have created from eating. Lots of guilt and promises about next time. That's the difference between physical and psychological hunger. And to help kind of really recognize this, a really cool little tip to do is to, one, just be aware of that, like would an apple do? It's quite a nice, simple way of putting it. But also just to, one, consider, right, how am I feeling right now and how do I want to feel? Will what I'm doing create that feeling? But two, create an environment that makes it easier to recognize this. For example, if I've got seedless grapes, I'm more likely to eat more of them. If I've got nuts, I'm more likely to eat more of them than monkey nuts. Like we bought some monkey nuts at the weekend as the kids were like, I want to feed the squirrels. They were too scared. They're not like the ones we saw in the forest before. Morning, Marie. So when you consider that, okay, how can I create an environment that slows me down a bit? So if you think of like peanuts, nuts, are we supposed to just eat them by the handful? Probably not, considering they're normally in a tree, in a shell. You'd have to climb the tree, get it down straight in on there. So that's another one little rule you could add in today, is I only sit down when I eat. I prepare my food, I put it in a bowl rather than eat out of the packet, and that's that. So I only eat when I'm sat down, and I prepare it before and have it in a bowl, so I'm aware of what I'm having. It's a very good way to be put more attention on how you're actually feeling, your physical hunger, your psychological hunger. So, I hope that helps. Good morning, Stella. I hope that helps, and you don't make the same mistake as me and thinking they're seedless. Yeah, not a nice crunch, and I'm pretty sure those seeds probably won't be good for you. Anyway, it's definitely slowed me down, and it's a reminder for me today. Just wanted to share that with you, and I know it comes up a lot in terms of physical hunger, psychological hunger, eating in the evenings, and that's all kind of wrapped up around that environment. Our environment can dictate what we do. We know that from research. We know that friends can dictate what we do to an extent. We're in control 100%, but the more we see someone else doing something, the more likely we're likely to do it too. So how can you take charge of your environment, even if you make a rule for yourself, despite being surrounded by loads of great food, to say, when I eat, I only sit down and I pre-serve it in a bowl. Just that tip right there might just slow you down a little bit. You might still do it, but you might just do it a little bit less, which is still a win, and it's important to give yourself credit for that. So, I hope that helps. Any questions, as always, just let me know, and make it a great day. Speak soon.